what we'll do is I'll go around and explain everything to you guys, and then, that way everybody's kinda on the same page, and if you've got any, big questions
Guys,
later, then let me know, and I'll
Joe,
fill in the blanks for you.
Rachel, Johanna? He wants to,
Hey.
come on over here.
I'll go around and explain everything to you, and then you take all the pictures and stuff you want after that. That way everybody can hear all the same stuff, and that way when you get back in the car later, you aren't like, well, I thought he said, and you can all hear it all at one time. But basically, the story on the den room is that Brother Brent had the vision to come out here. He moved here. And they were living in the apartment down Park Avenue. He came out here with no place really to go. He just knew to come here. And so they were living in the apartment. He come up here and bought this home. And this wasn't here. This was an afterthought. And so when they bought the place, some people got together and built this for him. He knew he wanted a den room, and he wanted it to look a certain way. And so he had those Banks Woods come out here, and quite a few other people. Anyways, they built this for him. So in the process of this, they decided they were going to remodel the house at the same time, change quite a few things. And so during that time, they just continued to live down at the apartment down there on Park Avenue. And so when that was all done, he called for all his stuff to come out here. He shipped all the animals and guns and all this stuff out here. It was just all put in, complete, everything. That's when they left to go back to Jeffersonville for Christmas time. That's when the accident took place. And so subsequently, he never spent the night here at the house. My grandma lived here in the winter time till she went to be with the Lord in '81. And my folks lived here till about 14 years ago. I moved back and lived here since then. That's kind of the story. Anyways, this area here, this was to be Brother Branham's study. This desk and chair, these aren't original. They never did have anything done here. But my Uncle Billy Paul uses this as his study when he's out here in the wintertime, like right now. And this is what he uses right here. That's what this area was. That's the original of those York paintings. There. That's the original of those paintings. You might have seen that before too. These are our mule deer bucks from Colorado. And, like on the right here is the buck Brother Branham called Big Jim. That's the buck he hunted for so long in Colorado. And he shot when the storm come down in Colorado. He spoke to the storm abated. He's back up there when it was gonna storm because he looked at that deer, he'd shot it, he couldn't find it, and he went back the next day, so it's going to the tower. That's it. That's the biggest one. This pheasant is from Iowa. The howling there above the door, those are from Sunset. If you haven't seen one, they're only about this big. Kind of smell.
They stay down.
Yeah. The fish there, those are rainbow trout from Idaho. The one on the top was the all-line class world record for about a year. And that's the fish that Brother talked about on tape. And he says, I got the record fishing out in the car to show somebody or something. But we talked about two places. He talks about it in reference to Marilyn Monroe, the movie actress Marilyn Monroe, and the movie, The River No Return. And that's the Salmon River in Idaho. And that's what he talks about. So pay close attention to the little test on this one. We're done. We'll go past the test. Can't go home. That's another mule deer buck from Colorado. Then that white animal with the black horns there, that's a Rocky Mountain goat in British Columbia. That was Brother Branham's first kind of expedition expedition type hunting trip in 1950. When he preached a series of meetings there in British Columbia, in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, Grand Prairie, Alberta, Chetland, British Columbia, all those series of meetings in 48. That's when he met Chris Bird. He was a half-Indian man, and they became friends. Chris Bird invited him to go hunting, and Brother Brown went back up in the fall of 1950 and shot that goat. In the corner, that's a stone sheep. That's the only sheep he ever killed. 4 species of wild sheep in North America, and that's a stone. That comes from up with Brother Bud Softfish up on the Alaska Highway there, British Columbia. Next to it, that's an antelope from Wyoming. And we've got to kill lots of antelopes too. And this big fellow here, this is the caribou that Brother Brown had a vision of that he shot in British Columbia with Brother Bud. And if you go back and listen to the tape when he talks about it the first time at the tabernacle, he relates the vision. He's seen himself shooting it, killing it, and then going up and admiring it or whatever, and then he's seen him measuring the horns, and the horns coming out to 42 inches. And that measurement is the length of the main beams here, start down here at the base, and go around the curve of this main beam up to that point. And when you're doing that, you use a 1/4-inch steel tape measure. And as you go along on the curve there, it's better with 2 people. That way somebody can hold it as you pivot the tape and go along there. And so in the vision, he's seen a boy's hand holding this tape measure. And that was what's off of that. So that's it. These are elk here with the guns on them. And that one right there, that's the biggest one that ran out of killed in Colorado there. That's a moose over the gun cabinet there with the guns on it. Those are mule deer on each side of that bull elk come out of there. That bull elk come from Idaho there. These guns here, all the guns here, Brother Brown's, most of them were gifts from people that, they loved him and they knew that he liked hunting and shooting. And so they wanted to do something for him, they buy him again. And he shot them all, messed with them, whatever. He didn't hunt with every one of them, but they were all his. Most of them don't have a big storyline behind them. In other words, he don't talk about them. They're all his guns, but he doesn't mention them on tape. And so, I can explain all about them to you, but if you're not into guns, I don't read anything. There's 2 guns we don't have here. One is the rifle that his first wife, Hope, saved the money for in the coffee can and told her about it when she was dying at the hospital. Told him where she hid the money to go buy the gun. And that was a Springfield 22 automatic. Just a cheap little rifle. And he bought that gun. We don't have it here. Uncle Billy Paul has that gun.
Is that the one that is referred to as Blondie?
No. This is a 22 semi-automatic that you use squirrel hunting. Blondie was a Remington 721. That was a big game rifle, a centerfire rifle. And he actually had 2 of them. The other one's this one here. He had 2 identical rifles, and this is the same thing Blondie was. Blondie has a chevron in the stock, just an inlay. But anyways, that's the other gun we don't have here, Blondie. Uncle Joseph has that gun. They have a big display case back in Jeffersonville with all the memorabilia and things from the ministry, and my gun's laying in there. But it was just a plain Jane regular rifle. It was nothing. I don't say nothing, but it wasn't like you'd think, super duper, it was just a very common Walmart type gun of that era. Of all the guns in here, really, this one here is the most significant. This is a Winchester on a 75-22. This is a rifle that Winchester made a series of rifles between the end of World War II and 1964. And they made lots of 22 rifles, pumps, automatics, single shots, bolt actions, everything. This is kind of a mid-grade bolt action rifle. Brother Brown bought that gun that his first wife had saved the money for in a can. That was a little cheap Springfield automatic. He used that from 38 to about 1950. Then in 1950, he bought this gun. This is the gun that he squirrel hunted with from 1950 to 1965. This is the gun that he talks about on tape, sending it back to Winchester and explaining to him, hey, it don't shoot right, and they send it back, and of course, and whatever. This is the gun he talks about on tape out here at Sabino Canyon. There used to be a rifle range out there to about 15 years ago or something. And that's where I used to go shoot when he was here. And that's where they were when he had the 3 thumbtacks and he stuck them in the target. Uncle Joe drove them in straight. Okay. Picked up a piece of clay pigeon, shot it in half and all that. That's the gun. That's the gun that he shot all the squirrels that were spoken to existence with. Not too many guns like that gun.
Right.
For sure. For sure. And it
Nice.
too is a real plain Jane rifle. He had quite a bit more expensive 22 rifles that people had bought him, but Bill Dow bought him. He was a very wealthy man. And he had bought him a 22 rifle that was worth 10 times what that's worth, and could shoot really, really, really good. And he really liked that gun. These chairs here from the New Jeffersonville, everything here is, but these are the chairs that had the formal pictures made, like I'm sitting in the chair, and Uncle Joe on his lap, and his Bible there, and whatever. This is the grizzly that he shot on the same trip as the caribou, the silver-tip grizzly. And it's, there's 3 or 4 different classifications of grizzly bears, but this is a mountain grizzly, and their hair's got that frosty look to it on the top, and that's why they call it a silver-tip. That's it, you know, short like that. The leopard there came from India. Brother didn't shoot that particular one. The one he killed in Africa was stolen on the way home. They never seen it again. But this one here, a man gave him from India. That mountain lion there came from up by Strawberry, up on the rim here in Central Arizona. And he said when he killed it, it fulfilled the vision he had about the far away Southwest and the Lion Stream and the Cabin Mountains and all that, and he wrote the poem this boy.
Say that again?
When Brother Brown had, go back and listen, when he talked about, you've heard the poem, The Faraway South, I am so lonesome for the faraway Southwest, where the sunrise beams over mountain crests,
Right.
and Lobo, the lion, all that. He said he had a vision when he seen that, when he wrote that poem as a boy, just a little boy, I forget, kid. And, anyways, he said, I don't know if even this is on tape, but he's told many people that, he told Dawson Riley, because he was with him when he shot the line, but he said when he shot the line, he said it fulfilled that vision. So, I don't know if he's seen himself shooting it.
Right.
His vision beforehand. On the limb there, that's a bobcat from up by Cortez, Colorado. And above it there on that limb, that's the hornet's nest that Brother Brown run into with the lawnmower. When he's out mowing the grass in the backyard. That crocodile there, that comes from a fishing trip in Florida. And they were fishing and they come swimming by the boat at Brother Banks Woods. Actually, Brother Welch Evans caught it. It was just little. And they took it home and kept it in the yard like you keep a dog. And, I forget now what they had named for it, Alfred. They kept it in the yard until it got that big. They got a little rough with it one day. And I said that, so he got mounted. So,
Is that the one he played Halloween pranks?
right. Yeah, they kept, I think Mom said they had it for like a year and a half or something. So. Yeah. Above the window there, those are 2 of the bucks that Brother Brown shot when he's on his honeymoon. He's walking around in circles there, lost in the Adirondack Mountains. He talks about shooting a buck, hanging in a tree, go back to camp, and all of a sudden there's a buck again, and take off again, and there's a buck again. And he's walking in circles there, lost. That was 2 of the years he shot on that trip. In the middle here, this is one of the redwood trees from California, slab off one of them. And, Brother Boris Church, bird there, that's a golden eagle. And that particular one was hit by an airplane over in Porterville, California. And the Game and Fish Department confiscated it and had it mounted, you know, it was on display in their office over there. And Brother Ben Bryant bought it and gave it to him, put in here. This is before the Eagle Protection Act of 1973, so it's totally legit, but, anyways, that's what it came from. These handguns here, these are Brother Brown's also, and most of them, kinda like the rifles, don't have a big story behind them. The only one of any significance to you would be this one up here in the corner with the white grips. This is a high standard B model 22 Max, one of the early production model 22s made in this country. And this is the gun that Brother Brown carried with him when he walked the power lines for Indiana Public Service Company. He talks about shooting rabbits and squirrels and stuff for people that were on his route and giving them for something to eat during the Depression. This is the gun that he carried with him while he was on patrol for the game department too. This is the gun that when he parked the service truck on the side of the road and went across the field to go pray for the man, the bull was there, and jumped up to come for him. He said the first thing he did is reach for his gun, but he left it in the seat of the truck.
Right.
That's the gun. This is Brother Brown's Bible. He had lots of Bibles. People give him Bibles as a gift or whatever. But he had basically 3 that he used over the course of the ministry. And Uncle Bill has one, Uncle Joe has one, I have this one. This is his earliest one. This is the Bible that he left in the tabernacle when he was out on patrol, when the flood come through the tabernacle. It raised up to, flooded the place and raised up to the ceiling, settled back down and never got wet. That's it. So I'm sure you got lots of questions. I'm ready. That was a woman named Kay Mallett. She was a local artist, from whatever, here. And she painted a bunch of murals and a bunch of stuff in the house, one big mural, a bunch of little things. And so Brother Brown liked her style of painting. And so he commissioned her to come paint this one, and was done. He wanted this to represent Peter Canyon and the water coming down out of Peter Canyon and ended up in that pool right there. That's the effect that he wanted. So she come and did a layout sketch of it, how she's gonna do it. And he come up that night and seen it and didn't like it. There were some things that he didn't like, so he erased a bunch of it and drew it himself. And they had her come paint it and he draw it.
So he drew that. He drew that himself, or a good bit of it?
Like Uncle Bill said, he figured that she didn't have the water coming down right or something. I forget now what it was, he erased a whole bunch of it, he drew it himself.
Yeah, because him being there, he would have had a picture in his head of what he'd seen or something, yeah.
Did he get to see it finished?
He did. He's seen all this finished, but just never got to spend any real time here. Him and Brother Banks laid this floor. He's seen all this just like this. This couch, we had to replace this couch, maybe 25 years ago or something. Everything else in here is just like it was.
Are these his books?
They are.
If he'd been around longer, he'd have read Little Morris too. Probably.
That's just your interpretation.
That's my opinion.
Your opinion.
That's my opinion.
Big thing, so that's good.